And now, it's time for another Dice Tower review with Tom Vasel.
Hey folks, today we're taking a look at a very small game called Matcha. This is a game with the background being a Japanese tea setting where you're setting out your Japanese tea set. But it's actually a two-player card game that only comes with 18 cards and then a pile of tokens. And you are back and forth trying to outthink and outguess your opponent. Is it any good? Here we go. Now the goal of this game is to make a tea set, and there are two ways to do that. One is to get one of each of the 5 different types here. Red, blue, green, white, and yellow. Or to get 4 of the same type. The first person to do so wins. If it happens simultaneously, then the person who has 4 greens wins, and the person with the 4 blues, whoever has the most of the most valuable type. There are different cards in a game, but the first thing I want to talk about here with the cards is in the corner here where it shows you the value of the cards. This is on every card. So a 4 beats a 3, beats a 2, beats a 1, but a 1 beats a 4. So if you put out a 2 and a 4, the 4 wins. If you put out a 3 and a 2, the 3 wins. But if you put out a 1 and a 4, the 1 wins. The same thing happens with the colors. Green beats red, beats blue, beats yellow, but yellow beats green. So that's there just to remember. Now you have cards that match every type. There are 16 cards in the game. Each card is 1 through 4 of the 4 main types. There is no white cards in the game. There are also 2 zeros. Those 2 zeros are separated out, and then the cards are shuffled, and there's going to be 3 pairings here, and on top of each of these, you're going to put one of the cards. So let's put these cards out here. Now I have these squished a little bit so that these fit into the camera view. I would spread them out a little bit more when playing. Now, these are 3 different groupings, pairings, in this set. There are going to be 3 rounds. The rest of the cards are going to have the zeros shuffled into those, and those are going to be given to the different players. And they'll deal with the first round first, then go to the second round, etc. So let's take a look here just at how one round of the game works. And we'll focus in here. Now, in this round, this side here, whoever you have to win this set here, to win this one, which will give you a blue, because that's the cards there, and this one also has a blue, so you'll get a blue for winning both of these. To win this one, the card needs to match the symbol. To win this one, the card needs to match the 1. So each player has a chance to go. So maybe this person plays a card here, this person plays a card here, this person plays a card here, this person chooses not to play anything there. And the reason is you have 6 cards to play over the course of a round, but you only have 5 in your hand. Now, once the cards in the set are shown, we turn them over. This person played a 0, kind of as a bluff. This person played a 4. Now let's say that both players had played 4s. So let's say there was a green 4 and a red 4. In this case, green beats red, so green would get the blue token, and they would win that blue token, put it in front of them. And each player has a card to put the different tokens on. Now in this case, green played a 4, and the other player played a 0. They played something that didn't match. So again, this player wins, and they get the blue token. The other player did not win and did not match, so therefore they get a white whisk. That's the only way to get a white whisk. Now let's say both players had not matched. This is a 1, and it's supposed to be a 4. This one doesn't match either. Then neither of them get it. So the only way to get a white whisk is if you do not match and your opponent does match. Over here, this card wins the round automatically. They get a blue token. It doesn't matter if they match or not. In this case, they didn't match. So they get that token no matter what, and this card is not revealed as you go to the rest of the sets and continue doing those. And that's what you do. You do all 3 rounds. If someone hasn't won, you shuffle, do it again, and you keep going till someone wins. Well, I have to tell you, I didn't know what to think when I saw it. I thought that the artwork was beautiful, and it looked really cool. Had that nice Japanese flair and the different pieces in there. But I wasn't sure how the game would work, and then I played it, and folks, I was astounded. This game is one of the best two-player card games that I have played in a long time. It is tense, it is simple, there's a lot going on. In fact, I would compare this to Battle Line. I probably like Battle Line better, but it gave me the same type of feeling, and I was impressed. And I'll tell you why. Because there are 18 cards in the game, not every card is used. When you deal out the cards, there will be 2 cards set to the side. But other than that, you can see the face-up cards. You can see the cards in your hand, and you pretty much know what your opponent has in his hand. So if I have a 4 red, and I can see the 4 blue and the 4 yellow there, I know my opponent probably has the 4 green, unless it's one of those 2 cards that are out there. So armed with that information, I have to sit there and go, okay, what card am I going to play here? And which ones am I going to play the 5 out of my 6 at? You don't have to play all 5, but that's usually a good idea. Will I match it and win that color? And in doing so, perhaps my opponent will not match it and get white. Because a simple strategy in this game is just go for white. Don't never match and hope your opponent matches and you white, 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 I win. But your opponent's going to have an idea that you're doing that. And so depending on what cards come up, we'll change things. There's some randomness in that. You know, was it blue, yellow, red, green, what's available? But I'll tell you, I sat there and thought very carefully about this game every time I played and said, okay, I can see what I have. I see what's out there. If I play this, they'll probably play that. But if they think, so there's a bit of that, you know, ooh, is the wine in my cup or in your cup aspect. But more about just trying to figure out what cards are where. And I found it such a fascinating thing. Now, it's not too deep and too mind-blowing. I mean, there is only 18 cards after all. But it did add a really cool idea. Taking those 2 cards out leaves just enough not knowing what's going on and then trying to outguess your opponent. The games don't take long. We're talking 15 minutes here. And again, the whole thing has a very pretty look for it. Nice box. I mean, this, folks, is a winner. I played several of the games from Grail Games, and some I liked and some I haven't liked, but this one is by far their best one. And if you like a 2-player game where you're just trying to outwit your opponent, definitely try this one. Dice Tower Judgment into my collection.
Thanks so much for watching the Dice Tower videos. Find more great videos and reviews as well as our top-rated audio podcast at Dicetower.com. You can also find other great shows at Dicetowernetwork.com. I'm Eric Summerer, and you've been watching The Dice Tower. The Dice Tower is sponsored by Cool Stuff Inc., where you can find great games for great prices. Cool stuff in stock. Check them out at CoolStuffInc.com.
Shut the door!